Well guys, it's a week after the NPC show. I didn't compete. I don't know if you've been following me on the Twitter, but I explained the reasons why I didn't compete in that show. It's not to say I'm not going to compete, timing wasn't right. However, back in the gym now, I'm going to make a little adjustment to my training program and focus a little bit more on lean mass gain, so LMG from now on. And that's really just helping to progressively increase the weights. Obviously not putting on too much body fat, but adding a little bit more lean muscle, certainly from now up until September time. I'm training chest today. I'm going to hit a little bit of triceps, and the first exercise I'm doing is a bit of a warm-up. It's on the pec deck or pec fly machine, and it's a couple of light sets, keeping the arms fixed. I'm not hitting muscle failure, 15-20 reps, and just really focusing on that muscular contraction for that inner chest. So let's get on with it. Again, not too heavy. Main purpose of this pre-warm-up exercise is to basically fill that chest area with blood, really squeezing the chest, especially the final few reps. And now I can move over to my first compound lift and actually build up heavy, and therefore I've got the blood and the fuel, the nutrients in that muscle to really start to overload the weight and cause those micro tears to those fibers that I need to then go and recover and grow. So let's head over there. First work set, I'm still going to do a warm-up set. This is an incline bench. I'm going to use a slightly wider grip, and as soon as I've done my first warm-up set of 15, I'm really going to go heavy, max out at about 8 to 10 reps. I'm going to stay on this for at least 4 sets, maintaining my threshold. So that means hitting that maximum 10 reps with my form, good technique, and hitting failure, and then I'll give myself a 2-minute rest. So first set, warm-up, 15 reps. Now, what we're looking for during this lean muscle growth is that explosive repetition. Slow it down and then explode up without locking out at the elbows. All the tension should be kept in the chest. So these are about fast but controlled reps. So now I can load up my maximum weight and start my 4 work set exercise on incline bench. What I'm trying to focus on now is the eccentric, that negative portion of the lift, controlling down. That's where we get those kind of micro tears, but really in the final few reps. So we need to stay focused on the heavier weight, but we don't want to start losing our form. There's that fine line when we lose our form to go a little bit heavier, but we reduce the effectiveness of the muscle working. So, you know, if you're following a similar program, don't try and load up as heavy as you can go and sacrifice the form. Stick with it. I call them model reps. If you've ever done a photo shoot and you're being photographed on every rep, your form and technique have to be perfect. That's kind of how it needs to be right up until those final few failure reps, and then that's your training threshold. That's the point at where your body is going to start to have to adapt, providing you can stay in it. This is where the whole CrossFit and kettlebell style of training really does help people. But in terms of muscle gains, weight training, for me personally, nothing beats it. So I'm up to my heaviest weight now. This is where form and technique have to be spot on. Said I'm aiming for 10, 8 or 10. I still need to incorporate those rest pauses. So 4 sets there, 4 reps. I've hit my training threshold, 20 seconds rest, and then I'm gonna go back on. Seeing as I've still got 6 more reps to go, probably end on a drop set to keep that intensity high, and maybe even superset with a flat bench. So this is where it starts to get tough, but this is where the work starts to get done. set now for those final 4 reps. Keep that intensity high, and then it's the last exercise on here. Now I get to superset it to really fatigue that particular portion of that chest. Alright, let me explain. I had 4 reps to go on the incline. I did more than 4. My rule is, or the exception to the rule, on the final work set, do whatever it takes to really fatigue that muscle. Take it to the point of failure, and then do whatever you need to do. Rest, pause, drop set, superset, or even all 3. Just to, as if you're rinsing a cloth and kind of really draining the energy out of that particular area. So now the incline is done. I'm going to move on to more of a machine. Focus on, again, more of a flat chest exercise, and then finish off on the chest part of the workout with more cables and flies. And then we're going to hit some triceps. Granted, this chest exercise isn't in every gym. It's more of an old school. In fact, I don't even know what it's called. Hammer strength, but it's certainly one of the old ones. And I love the movement because it has a converging end movement, so it's as if doing kind of combination of dumbbell movement, because you can bring the arms in, really accentuating that peak contraction, and you have that rigidity of the machine where you have that set range of motion. So I like using the machine after having done free weights because I can keep that intensity high again and keep the weights heavy, even though I'm a little bit more fatigued. So heavy on here, 12 reps, and if you are using a normal machine, try and set the handles as far back, and that way you get a nice deep range of motion, you get full stretch in the chest, and once you've pushed off, take it through its full range of motion, and then come back as low as you can without obviously taking it back to that start position. So again, going back to quality here and focusing on the range of motion, especially when using machines. I've found, especially in the past few years of getting ready for a show or photo shoot, is that at the point where it starts getting hard, that's where you know it's starting to work. So if you're only just getting to that point where it's getting hard and you're taking a rest and walking around and talking to others and on your phone, like you've just started to knock at that door of muscle growth and you're not going through it. When it gets hard, take a little rest, pause, lower the weight a tiny bit if you need to, but then that is the start of when your body has to start to adapt, is when it goes through that adaptation stage. So until you get to that point of failure, your body has no stimulus to need to change. You've got to take it up to that point by making it hard. As soon as it gets hard, that's when you're going to start to push the body. So this is where cardio, even during a lean muscle growth phase, becomes important, because I believe you need that cardio endurance to get you through those work sets, like now. This is also where the likes of L-carnitine, creatine, BCAAs, and I'll talk about supplements on another video. For now, I'm going to finish off with one more set and a drop set, move on, hit cables, and then just 2 tricep exercises as a kind of a finisher off for today's workout. cable flyers and finishing off a pretty short chest workout in terms of exercises, but it's still 4 exercises, 5 if you include that superset with the incline and the flat. But again, I'm doing 4 sets, so it's still quite a big lift for me. Cables to finish off. I really like using cables that I can adjust the arm on it, as that way I can work around a little bit more variation. I'm not just stuck by doing that high cable pulley. And also on here, I'll do 2 different types of lifts. I'm doing 4 sets. The first 2 I do standing up, so more of I call it a classic chest fly. I'm putting down, and then as I really become fatigued on the final few work sets, I'll lighten the weight, ideally keep it the same if not go heavier, but realistically lighten the weight, and then keep the arms out. And that way I'm again hitting more of the inner upper area of the chest. This one, incidentally, I find is great for tapering that inner kind of lower outer section of the chest, far more than doing forward parallel bar dips or even decline presses, which typically won't do. So this is the first type of that chest fly. Fantastic, that one. Shoulders slightly rounded, and with the arms, instead of keeping them perfectly fixed at the bottom, I'm kind of pushing out. So if you can see here, arms in, as I straighten them out, down towards kind of my inner thigh, that chest really gets quite a deep contraction. All right, another work zone here, and then I'll show you the final work set where my arms are out. Even though it's the same exercise, I'm going to switch it up just a little bit, create that variation. When there's variation and you increase that stress, the challenge, you challenge the body, has to adapt, and it's during the adaptation process that change starts to happen. Providing you're creating enough stimuli through resistance, you're overloading the muscle, getting good rest, good nutrition, that's that fully encompassing growth factor. So it's not just about weight training, your diet has to be good. Supplementation, diet, training, and sleep. Those are the 3 main factors. So a little bit higher on this one because I step forwards, back heel out, shoulders back, and arms out forwards. Alright, that's chest done. Let's move on and just lightly polish off the triceps, as they say. I'm going to finish off on triceps, and because I've worked them indirectly as part of my chest workout, I'm not going to do my typical mass building tricep exercises, if you like. I'm actually going to save those for when I do triceps on their own workout day. Back biceps and triceps, or reverse triceps, biceps on one workout, and I hit triceps with chest and biceps with back during this phase. So I'm doing a modified overhead kneeling extension. This is kind of a fine detailing exercise. That long tricep head, I find it really helps add a bit more mass thickness to it. So I'm still going heavy. And the reason I'm kneeling down and keeping my elbows lower than my shoulders, as you'll see, is I get that nice tension pulling upwards instead of doing it down. It's kind of a flip side of that exercise. A little bit tricky, but once you can master it, it's a great squeeze at the end for that tricep head. Typically 4 sets on there, and then finish off, which I'll show you in the next one. Underhand straight bar pull down to work on that smaller underside area of the tricep. Whew, nearly done. On to the final exercise of the triceps and final exercise of the whole workout. It's basically an underhand version of a straight bar push down, except the elbows are a little bit further forwards, and this way I just feel it hits that inner side, underside of the tricep. So let's get to it. 1 down, 3 to go, and then I'm out of here. It's late, it's nearly 9:30 at night. Final tip, if you like, sounds a bit of a cliche. You really got to participate in your exercise. It's all too easy, especially if you're with a training partner, to just do the movement but not really truly feel it in the muscle. Think back to some of the best workouts you've had where you feel really pumped, like you've given it your everything. When you're actually training, your mindset, everything is in flow. And if you're doing that same exercise on every rep, especially the final one, you're saying to yourself, all right, I'm feeling it, let's go. Let's give it that extra 110%. It's days like that where your body has the biggest cofactor to need to change, that adaptation process. When you can hit those workouts more and more often, that's when you're going to start to see results. So on that note, I'm going to hit the weight up, give it the last ounce of energy that I can, and I'll see you guys next back here at the gym or in the kitchen. As always, you can keep up to date on my Twitter, YouTube of course, Facebook I'm going to get back on, and Instagram, and post all your questions through my social sites. So hope you'll stick with me, follow me on my journey on my lean muscle gain, and I give you my word, I'll be back on stage soon. I just don't know when. So take care guys, I'll see you soon.